Hey, I'm Matt with 731 Woodworks. Today I want to talk to you about making mistakes in the wood shop and how to overcome that. Hey, if you're new here, please consider subscribing and clicking the bell beside that. Once you hit subscribe, a little bell icon will pop up. If you hit the bell, it'll notify you every time I upload a new video. Also, if you hit the like button, I'd appreciate that. Drop a comment below and let me know if you've ever made mistakes in the wood shop. So like I said before, we're just going to talk mistakes in the wood shop and how to overcome that. Just some encouraging words for you if you're getting started. We all make mistakes, all of us, and I make a lot of them. I show them on my videos as much as I can and let you know that I am making mistakes and how I'm overcoming that. If you'll, the desk build series on video number 2, I'll put a card up here. I made a big mistake in that one where I flipped the desk. I built it upside down, or I had started it upside down, and when I flipped it over, I realized I put the drawers on the wrong side. Luckily, I hadn't had the drawers installed yet. I just had the frame, so it was pretty easy fix. If you watch that video, you see how I fixed it. So I make a lot of mistakes. I show it, like I said, I show them on video as much as I can. Some of them aren't mistakes. I just don't like how they look, and I don't feel right about selling that. So I'll scrap it, start over, or I'll try to fix it. This flag, for instance, I etched those stars in with a Dremel tool or a wind rotary tool. I didn't like how they come out. It looks good from a distance, but when you get up close, you can see that it's kind of jagged edges on the stars, and it just didn't look good to me, so I just didn't want to sell that. So what I did was I hung this in the shop. It's mine now. I made another one and stenciled the stars on there, and that come out like this. Tool is another item that I didn't like how it looked. It's not a mistake. There's nothing wrong with it. I just didn't like how it looked when I built it, so I scrapped this one and built another version. The other version, I used the same 2x2s around the bottom and the top. I liked how it looked better. This didn't look right to me. I felt like it looked a little odd, out of place or something, so I wouldn't use it, but now it's a shop stool. So even if you make mistakes, a lot of times you can reuse this stuff, or if you just don't like how it looks, which isn't the way this is. So I use this a lot in the shop. I actually sit on it a lot in my videos. And then, of course, we have mistakes too. I built 2 of these. I was building 2 nightstands, and they were supposed to be 24 inches tall. And for some reason, I had in my head that I was building 18-inch tall pieces. So there was going to be an 1.5 inch top on both of these. So I've cut everything and had them all together at 16.5 inches tall on both of these. And by the time I realized it, this is what I had. I mean, I had them framed up. There was going to be some X detail in there, so luckily I didn't get all that together. But these have been in my shop now for probably 2-3 months, and I really don't have a use for them, but I just keep them around just in case I think of something to use them for. They would make very small coffee tables. I don't know what else to do with them right now, so I'm just hanging on to them instead of scrapping them. This shelf, it's a hanging shelf. It has a rope that goes up there and hangs. I built several of these before. I built this one, and I don't know what happened. It's got a lot of dust on it. But when I went to distress it, it's a brown undertone with a biscuit white on top. When I went to distress it, the paint itself actually started peeling up and just kind of wadding up on the top. It looked ugly. So I couldn't fix that. So I kept it. I should probably just chunk this, because I thought maybe I could just repaint it and maybe do something different with it. But the paint on here, I don't know if the paint was cold or what the deal was, but just to show you that kind of stuff happens. It's gonna happen. There's nothing you can really do to prepare for it, but I'm hanging on to this piece. I'm probably gonna chunk this, but this has been in the shop now for several months, and just sometimes stuff just doesn't go your way. This was a bar stool. I've got 3 of these in my house. We love them. This was the very first one I made, and it was actually a bar stool. I cut the legs off to make it a regular size chair. I didn't like it. The Plans DIY Pete, I'll try to drop a link below to DIY Pete stuff. He made these. This was his design. The seat itself is 14.5 inches from the back. And so when I sat in them, I'm about 5'11", and so when I sat in them, my knees were out here. It just wasn't comfortable. I felt like I was falling off the front of it the whole time. So what I did was I just extended it to 16.5. So I added 2 inches to all these boards and the sides. So I stretched it out 2 inches, and then once I did that, these things are really comfortable. And so I've got 3 of them I built in my house. So sometimes you just kind of have to go off somebody's plan. I built this one, and it was kind of a prototype. So I just didn't like how it sit. So I scrapped this, I just left it in the shop. I actually got casters on it so it'll roll around. They're crappy casters, so they don't roll very good. But this one stays in the shop. I sit in it sometimes, and mostly I just put junk on top of it. This is a bench we make. It's our aero bench. I make several of these. I've made several of these. I've sold several of these. This one in particular, I can't sell it. I don't know why. I build these and I just put them on Facebook for sale when I'm running slow on orders. And I built this one about 2 months ago. I painted it a turquoise. If you can see the turquoise undertone, I painted it turquoise because that was a hot color for a while. Everybody loved turquoise. Everything I built, I painted turquoise, and it would sell like that day. So I built this bench. I put the turquoise on there. Nothing, not a bite. Nobody was even interested. So what I did was I went back and painted it a biscuit white on top, distressed it, and then put a wax seal on it. And it feels really nice. It's a nice looking bench. Just nobody wants it. So you're gonna have that kind of stuff too, where you think something's gonna be a popular item, or it has been a popular item for a while, and then all of a sudden, nothing. It's just gonna stop selling. It's just the way that things go. Things ebb and flow, and you just there's no really way to prepare for that really, unless you have a lot of different things. And so diversify is the advice I give you. So don't just stick to one thing. Like if all you do is make cutting boards, then at some point, that market will slow down a little bit, and then it'll pick back up. Things like that. The flags are pretty popular right now, so you can't just put all your eggs in one basket and expect that that's going to always be. So if you can kind of branch out, that's why I like building new things, trying new things. That way I get experience doing that stuff, and it's never just one thing that people are interested in. You got several different things you can offer. As you can see, mistakes are going to happen. You're going to cut the board too short. You're going to put the thing together wrong. You're going to mess up big time, but that's okay. It's woodworking. It's not the end of the world. We can overcome that stuff. It may cost you some money, because it has cost me money before. I would rather take the hit and then rebuild something than I had to try to sell something that's not up there with the quality I would want. Everything I've ever built, after I'm finished with it, even if I'm proud of it, I'm looking at it critically, and I think, well, I should have done this different, or I should have done that better. I could have put a little extra time in here or there. I think that's just me being hard on myself, but it's just part of it. You're not always going to be perfectly happy with everything you build. You should always be wanting to improve. So if you're looking at your stuff and thinking, well, I just don't like this part of it, well, the next time try to change that if you build a different one, and see if you can improve in that area. We always have room for improvement, always. So if you're willing to improve and you're willing to learn, that's good. And there's nothing wrong with mistakes. You're gonna make them. Everybody makes them. We all make them. I make them. I make a bunch of them. Sometimes you just get in your mind that this thing's supposed to be 28 inches when it's supposed to be 38. And you cut all your stuff 28 inches where you're 10 inches short, and there you are. So you have to go to the lumber store and get more lumber and start all over. It's just part of it. If you're taking orders, commissions, and selling your stuff, be sure that you and your customer are on the same page. You don't want to build something and then they say, well, that's not what I wanted it this way. So just kind of try to spell that out. I try to do it in writing over Messenger or text or something like that. That way we're on the same page. If I ever have any question, any doubt, I go ahead and message them and say, hey, just want to clarify that you wanted it 30 inches square and not 25 inches square. Or you wanted, you want your table 20 inches high for your coffee table. Well, the common height is 18 inches. Are you sure you want it 20 inches? That kind of stuff. That way they don't get, well, it's too high, or it's the wrong color, or that kind of thing. Color's probably going to be one of your main issues. The color doesn't come out just right. Different woods take different stains differently. Even when I use a lot of pine. So even pine, you'll have 4 boards laying side by side, and the stain's may come out different on 3 of them than it does the one. One may be a little darker than the rest. Those kind of imperfections are going to happen, and so you just kind of got to let the customer know that that's possible. that, you know, that kind of stuff. I have a problem with underpricing a lot of my stuff. I'll put a price on it, and I'll wind up not making very much money at all, or breaking even on it. Especially when I first started out, I would just try to price something to get the job, and then I'd wind up barely making any money off of it. If you figured in my time, I was losing tons of money because I was just investing so much time. But that's not always a bad thing. A lot of times I would price stuff low on purpose, just to get the experience of being able to build it and to have it in my portfolio. So like the dog kennel, I'll drop a link up there in the cards. The dog kennel is a great example. I priced that very reasonable, very low on purpose because I wanted to build it. When I saw it, I was like, I want to build that. And I wanted the customer to be able to have it. And then I wanted the experience of me building it and being able to show that I could build that. I knew I could build it. As soon as I saw it, I knew I can do that. So that's what I wanted to do. So, and then there's a laundry hamper I built. If you go to 731woodworks.com, click on the gallery, there's a 3 basket laundry hamper that they fold out. I really wanted to build that. And when I saw the picture of it, a lot of times the customers will send me a picture and say, hey, can you build this? And if so, how much would it be? Well, I saw it and I was like, I can do that, and I want to do it. So a lot of times I'll price my stuff a little bit low on purpose just to get the job. Now this isn't my full-time income. If it was my full-time income, it'd be totally different. But with me starting, I've only been doing this a little over a year. So with this being a part-time or a side job, I like to be able to price stuff a little low so that I can get the experience of building that. And then now that I have the experience and I can show I can build this, I know I can build it, I know about how much it costs me to build it because of materials and time, then you can price it accordingly on the next one. And having those pictures of the item you built proves to other people that you can build it. And if they see it, they like it. So that's a good idea to start out. If you're going to price your stuff a little low, that's okay. Don't feel terrible about pricing stuff low and not making much money. Just don't lose money. You know, try not to lose money. If you're reinvesting a lot of your money, which is what I do, I'll reinvest some of the money I'm making in the tools and supplies I'm using. And don't forget how much supplies cost on things. Craig screws, even the wood glue, the lumber itself. A lot of that stuff can get expensive. Like 250 Craig screws is $20 pretty much from Amazon. The lumber just depends on, if you're in hardwoods, the prices get up there pretty quick. So don't forget about the price if you're pricing stuff, to go ahead and figure that in with your estimate so you don't lose money. So my biggest piece of advice is, even if you make mistakes, don't give up. It's okay to be bummed out. I've been bummed out before. I'm like, and I just walk away. Just go do something else for a little bit. Let your mind clear, just get settled down, and then come back and start over or fix the problem or whatever the case may be. It's extremely easy to get angry sometimes at this stuff, especially on those days where nothing's going right, which everybody's going to have those days. Everything you touch is breaking or messing up or what have you. Just walk away, come back a little while later, even if it's the next day, with a new perspective, and just fix it or go on from there. It's going to happen. If you're new to woodworking, just expect those days to happen and be okay with that. Be okay with something not coming out just right or just perfect or whatever the case may be. If it's something you're not sure if you've done it right, lots of videos on YouTube. Lots of people, the woodworking community on Instagram is a huge help. Go there, look for woodworkers. They're more than willing to answer your questions. I've had so many people answer my questions to this day. These flags, Edmund's Wood Shop, if you check him out on Instagram, Cam is a good dude. He helped me on these flags. He told me he actually just sent me his plans or his measurements and everything on what to do, what to cut, how to put them together. They're more than willing to help you. I'm more than willing to help you. I don't mind sharing any of my stuff that I build. If I can build it, or if I'm building it, I don't mind if you use the plans or the videos or the pictures to base your project off of. Hey, go for it. I'm all for it. I'm not trying to have some kind of patent on the design here. I'm just making stuff for people, and I'm sharing that process with you. So be more than happy to help you any way I can. You can just shoot me a message here, drop a comment, Instagram, send me a message, Facebook. We're 731 Woodworks on all those places. So if you need help or if you want advice, just send us shoot us a message, and I'll try to do my best to help you. And if I don't know the answer, I'll tell you, hey, I don't know, and I'll try to find somebody for you that does know it. Just keep trying, don't give up, and main thing is be safe with what you're doing. Watch your fingers. You only get 10 of those to start out with, most of us. 2 ears, 2 eyes, so protect that stuff. I should use more hearing protection than I do. I don't. I've got earphones that I don't use. I really should start, especially with some of the louder equipment, the table saw and the miter saw. They're loud. Even that impact, that rigid impact, is super loud. Also, your respiratory RZ masks make great masks. I've got one of those. I got it on sale. I'll drop a link in the description for them. They make good particulate filters. Replaceable filters are pretty comfortable, so they're pretty good things. I like using those when I'm painting. A lot of times I'll put that on, or if there's a lot of sawdust in here. I don't have a dust collection per se. I've got a rigid shop vac and then this DeWalt dust extractor that I use. But even that table saw, the dust extraction sucks on it. I mean, it just, not literally sucks. It's terrible. Especially, anything that's going underneath, it collects pretty good, but anything that comes over the top, it gets in the air. And of course, a router, anytime I use a router, it goes everywhere. Back to the main purpose of the video is to encourage you to keep trying. Don't stop just because you make a mistake. Don't stop just because something doesn't come out right. Just learn from that and build the next thing better, or fix what you messed up. A lot of times when we glue this stuff up, it's there, especially if that glue sets. You'll tear something up trying to get it apart. It's the best thing, which is why those 2 table frames are still the way they are. They're glued up and screwed. There's no way to get them apart other than breaking something. So I'm just leaving them. I'll come up with something. They'll be 18-inch high tables. I don't know what I'll do with them, but I may do something with them, try to figure out something. But the stool, I just made a shop stool. The chair, I made a shop chair. That was a prototype. I wanted to see how it sit, and I just didn't like it, so I extended the length, and it sets much better now. Stuff like that you're going to come across where you build it, even if you're building for yourself. You build it and you're like, I wish it was this way, or if I drew the plans up, I would make them like this, and then to make it more comfortable or make it fit your needs. So don't be afraid to try to just make something your own. You don't exactly have to follow every plan. Even the stuff I'm giving you, you can base this stuff, you can shrink it or expand it however you want. If it's an end table or a coffee table or whatever, make it fit your space. Don't just build something the size that somebody's giving you just because that's the way they gave it to you. It's not hard to shrink that stuff down. You just take the measurements off or add to or whatever you need to do. Or you may have to buy some more supplies, but that's nothing. So I hope this video has encouraged you a little bit. Don't fret so much over a mistake like it's the end all be all. A lot of those mistakes can be overcome if you cut your lumber too short, and you may have to just go get some more lumber. But that's going to be one of your main mistakes in the shop I found, is just the wrong cuts. Even if you got the measurement right, you measure it out, you may cut it this much too short, and it's not going to fit because it's too short. I mean, that stuff happens all the time. It's why we have a scrap pile over there. I can maybe use that piece later. So don't worry about the mistakes. Just keep trying. Do what you're doing. You're going to learn from it. Even if in the moment you think that you're just not learning anything, you just keep messing stuff up, you're learning. I guarantee you're learning. So just keep building stuff. The more you build, the better you'll be. I found out that to be true. Actually, I started out making those chairs from Jay Bates. You check him out on YouTube, Jay Bates. He had some chair design, a chair with a side table, 2 chairs, a side table, all out of 2x4s. That's how I started. The first set I built, they were okay. They were not great. The next set I built was a little better. The next set I built was even better than that. And then from there, I started expanding stuff I was building. And every time you build something, even if you're not repetitively building the same thing, you're learning stuff that you can apply to the next project. So just keep building, and you'll see that the stuff you're learning is building on itself. You just keep building on itself, and everything you're doing is you're making better and better quality stuff as you go along. So So stuff you build today is not going to be the same quality as stuff you build 10 years from now. And I look back on some of the stuff I built early on and I think, boy, I wish I could do that over because I would do this different. I look at pictures and I say, man, that just didn't come out like it would if I built it now. And that's just part of it. You know, if you're no matter what your profession is or what your craft is, you're gonna learn the more you do it. So you're gonna be better at it in 5 years than you were on day one. That's just how the world works, and that's just how things are. So just continue to learn, continue to build, and just keep creating great stuff.